Imagine making $980,000 in just 12 months without having to own a single property. That's exactly what I was able to achieve through wholesaling real estate, a strategy that anyone can do with the right steps. And to prove it, I'm sharing the exact 5-step process that I use so that you can copy me and increase your chances of getting similar results for yourself. The best part is you can start no matter your bank balance. Here's a real example of a deal that changed my life. I found a commercial property that distressed owner just wanted sold for $540,000. I offered to buy it and I got it under contract. That's what we call it in this industry. Then, instead of actually buying it myself, I presented the contract to an end buyer who purchased it from me for $650,000. He scored a favorable deal that had a lot of future potential. So in the end, the seller got to make a quick sale, the buyer scored a fantastic deal, and I pocketed $110,000 into my bank account, which turned into a life-changing amount of money for me in my life. This allowed me to ultimately escape my 9-to-5 grind, all without needing the upfront capital to actually buy the property myself. Notice how I said it was commercial property. That's the thing. Wholesaling works well for both residential and commercial properties, but I recommend actually starting with commercial for these 3 reasons. First of all, you can get much higher assignment fees. A standard fee for a single-family house might be $5, $10, on the high end $20,000, but I was typically averaging about $5,000 to $10,000. Number 2, less competition. Since most people don't even realize they can wholesale commercial real estate, you have less competition. Number 3, the properties are valued based on the income they generate, which greatly helps you in our selection process. And all it takes to wholesale commercial real estate are these 5 steps that I'm about to walk you through right now. The first step is finding the right property. Whether it's a home or an apartment complex, a mobile home park, or all in, whatever, you got to know what you're looking for and where to search. I like to start with Crexy.com because it's an excellent free tool that you can use to start familiarizing yourself with commercial marketplace. So you can think of Crexy kind of like as the Zillow for commercial real estate. The only thing is, a huge part of your value as a wholesaler is finding really good deals, and the best deals typically come from off-market places, properties that wouldn't be for sale unless you went and found them yourselves. These are properties that they wouldn't be able to find themselves on websites like this one. That's why we use a software called Commercial Deal Finder, which allows our clients to filter through 27 million different commercial properties all across the US and help you search for off-market deals, giving them a competitive edge in the marketplace. It really does make a big difference between wasting hours looking for leads or being able to focus on the right ones that are most likely to turn into deals. But once again, you can absolutely start by going to Crexy.com, and we're happy to help you kick things off in our free community that's linked below. If you have absolutely no idea where to start when it comes to getting involved in this commercial real estate thing, it's always best to start by investing in what you know first, which for most people is housing, residential. After all, we've all lived in a place. We've all lived in an apartment, a house, a mobile home park, and we all know what a resident needs in a kitchen or a bathroom or a living room. That's why I recommend starting with multifamily properties. Something as small as a duplex or even a decent sized apartment complex is a great place to start. This way, you're skipping the slow start of building your portfolio using single family homes only without jumping into an area that you know nothing about. Okay, step number 2 is going out there and digging for the gold. Now that we know what we're looking for, how do we spot a good deal? What is a good deal? Well, there are 3 main factors to look for. First of all, you want to buy a property that's in a desirable area, a good neighborhood. Location is always the first rule in real estate. Number 2 is that you want rent that can be increased after the purchase over time. This is a forced appreciation of value-add opportunity, and that's often what investors are looking for. Number 3 is, are you getting at a price that's under the market value? Are you getting a deal? Are you getting a discount? That's what we're after here. Getting a property under its market value means that you can provide a great deal to your end buyer while preserving a chance for you to earn a good assignment fee for yourself, put some money in the bank, and roll it into the next deal. So in this case, everybody wins, especially if that buyer is going to see great return on their investment. They're going to be very happy. So now, in order to get a good idea of how the property stacks up in the marketplace, you need to know what kind of return that a buyer can expect to make. And so you'll need to know these 3 key metrics to understand the value that you're offering to the end buyer. So number 1 is the net operating income, which is the annual income the property generates after the expenses are taken out. Number two is you want to know the cap rate, which is short for capitalization rate. And this is basically the return that you can expect to make per year from the property's income if you're to buy it all cash. I like to aim for a minimum cap rate of 7%, which means that the annual net operating income is 7% of the property's purchase price. And number three, you want to look at the cash on cash return. And this is the return an investor receives in 1 year after the cash that they invested, after you take out all expenses, including the debt, mortgage payments, all that sort of stuff. Okay, a 10% cash on cash return means that when all is said and done, you'll make your money back in 10 years. Or if you made a 20% return, you'd make your money back in 5 years. An ideal range to aim for is somewhere between 10 to 15%. And don't worry if math kind of intimidates you, there are calculators that can handle everything for you, and I'll link those below. So now using these tools, when you come across a really good listing, you can pop everything in and make smarter offers so that you know both the buyers and sellers will find them attractive, therefore maximizing your chance of getting the highest assignment fees possible. All right, step number three, attracting sellers and buyers. Now that you know how to identify a really good deal, you need to connect with the right buyers and sellers. Buyers typically are pretty easy to find. There are plenty of property flippers and landlords and investors who are eager to jump on a really good deal. Sellers, on the other hand, determine really everything in this business. Ideally, we're looking for a seller who's really motivated and is willing to sell at a deep cash discount or sell on terms, which are basically different ways that the buyer can pay over time. All right, now when contacting a seller, there are 4 fundamental things that you want to find out. Number 1, the condition of the property. Number 2 is the price or terms that they're willing to sell at. Number 3, the timeline that they're willing to sell on. And number 4, the motivation. Why are they selling? And you don't have to get those in any particular order, but you want to find out all 4 of those things before you can make a meaningful offer. A seller who is experiencing some sort of distress, either property distress, personal or financial distress, is the type of person that you want to find because they need to let go of their property within the next few months, and is the kind of person who's going to give you the best chance of getting a really good deal under contract. So now that you know what kind of buyers and sellers that you're looking for, how do you actually connect with them and build your network so that you can make this thing work? So my go-to approach is the call 5, write 5 strategy. And here's how that works. What you do is you pull a list from our software called Commercial Deal Finder. You do a skip trace to get the phone numbers on your list. If you're not familiar with skip trace, it is just a way to do a search on somebody's name and address, and it pulls their email and their phone number. And you take that phone number and you can make phone calls. You can get a hold of them. So each day, Monday through Friday, reach out to 5 potential sellers and send 5 letters or postcards to potential sellers. And on Saturdays, you double that number and you do 10 of each. Sundays are your day of rest because, trust me, you're going to need it. Because what we have found is that consistency beats intensity. So you're going to need your rest, do your work Monday through Saturday, take a day of rest on Sundays, and get back to it again on Monday. By following this plan, you'll make 35 contacts every week and you'll be sending out 35 mailers. That consistency pays off big time because it builds up a strong network of sellers and buyers. Basically, you're building a pipeline who are then ready to jump on that deal when the right deal comes along. And I'm gonna be really honest here, I'm not gonna lie. This is a process. If you've been wondering kind of what the catch is of this whole commercial real estate thing is, this is it right here. It takes a good amount of work up front. I've seen it take some people as few as 9 days to get a deal under contract, others anywhere between 6 to 9 months to get to land their first commercial wholesale deal, but that's okay. It takes a lot of time. And all it takes is one deal to change your life. And I'm here to make it as easy for you as possible. But I do not want to sugarcoat this. It will take work. But that should be good news for you because you're willing to do the work that other people aren't. I've even got a magic script linked here below so that you don't have to worry about what to say when you're picking up the phone and making those phone calls. All you have to do is send the letters and make the phone calls and follow the script I'm going to give you. All right, we're getting here close to the end. Step number 4, getting a property under contract. Now that you've got the right knowledge and you've got the tools and support necessary to identify these amazing opportunities, it's time to make offers and make lots of them. To make this more effective, I like to make 3 offers. So we call this a 3-option letter of intent. And by submitting 1 cash offer and then 2 seller financing options, which is when the seller agrees to take payments over time, you're giving the seller several options to choose from. And remember that the more motivated the seller is, the better the deal that you can negotiate. Having multiple offers increases your chances of getting into a negotiation or a conversation about which of the 3 offers makes the most sense, instead of this like yes, no back and forth about your one insultingly low cash offer. network. And this works especially well for those who really are looking for some flexibility in how they receive payment. And so now when you're making multiple offers across a lot of different properties and you're making lots of contacts, you're going to increase your chance of landing a profitable deal and then getting a really big assignment fee. Step number 5 is sealing the deal. So now once a seller accepts your offer, you've sent these letters of intent, they've agreed to it, you've done some negotiations, you send them a purchase and sale agreement. Now you got a property under contract. Once you have that, all that's left is to hand it over to a buyer who wants to buy your position in that contract. This is where your network from step number 3 is really going to pay off. With an active list of interested buyers, you can often move very quickly to assign the contract and lock in that really big assignment fee as soon as possible. Remember that the faster that you can close, the happier both the seller and the buyer are going to be. So meaning more opportunities for repeat business and referrals in the future. I'll provide a link below to the assignable contract template that you can use and that we give to all of our clients and the members of our community so that you don't have to worry about the paperwork. It's important to note that there's no set amount for an assignment fee, but the deal needs to be such that it has enough room for the buyer to have a really great opportunity, especially if you want a good reputation. So what we like to do is to target a return on investment of 12% or higher. Most buyers are pretty happy seeing that, and when they see that return, they'll come running. Then once your assignment fee comes through, that's it. You've got money in the bank, and congratulations, you just got paid to be a commercial wholesaling pro. And so now you've got enough money for a down payment on a property all your own. This simple 5-step process of wholesaling commercial real estate has completely changed my life, and it has allowed me to control my time and become financially free. And as my way of paying it forward, I've created a free community that's linked below. It contains everything that I wish that I had when I got started, from a large support network to lots of tools, additional training, and a place to go and shop your deal. Click the link and join so we can celebrate your first wholesale deal together. I believe that if I can do it, there's no reason that you can't too.